So, my last video did quite shit, and I don't really care. I made that video for fun, and it doesn't really matter to me if it doesn't get any views, so whatever. But today's video is a return to form, and no, I am not doing this because I got shit views. I'm just doing this because I want to talk about this figure, and that is the Hammond Collection Spinosaurus. Now, I have not reviewed a single Hammond Collection figure, but I've had mentioned it a few times throughout this channel. I really just wasn't really into reviewing any of the ones I gotten beforehand. They just really didn't pique my interest. But this figure in particular has, because it's my favorite dinosaur from the franchise, so I should cover it. But yeah, it's part of a new line, or is it a new line or just something new? They call it the True FX Hammond Collection. But it's pretty stupid because their first releases of it, okay, we have the Spino, which is pretty accurate to the film. Then we got the Tiger Raptor, which looks like shit. Then we got the Sticky Moloch, which looks good. And then the Troodon, which is based on the game, but not really, because it looks nothing like the game. So I don't know what this is about. The True Effects is bullshit, I guess. I don't know why they put this label on these new figures, because they really don't speak out True FX besides maybe the Spino and the Stiggy. The rest of them are just kind of shit. So, what does this figure have to offer? Well, I will say that from a glance, it appears to be one-to-one to how the Spino looks from the film. Where I think it's very lacking is its paint. I think anyone can agree with this, is that there's a lack of paint. Apparently they based it off the maquette design, but I still think, there's not enough going on here. You could easily have, make more white throughout the figure. It should be a more grayish color too. The Spino in the film is a lot more gray. I think, the red is good. I think it should be a lot of a darker red than this bright color they used, but it's whatever. Again, there is blue on the sail, but it's very faint and not very noticeable. I think the main drawn is the head, where I think the inaccuracies start, because if you pay attention, the head is a lot wider than it should be. It is hard to tell. I mean, you'll see later I do a comparison with my custom I've showed in my previous video, but it is definitely wider and shorter than I think it's supposed to be. But it honestly doesn't bother me as much as I think it does to other people. I think it's a lot less noticeable than the Giga or the Triceratops, which had similar issues. I don't own the Triceratops because it sucks. I mean, I think it sucks the way it looks. But my Giga, again, anyone who has the Giga knows, or if you were to pay attention, that the front of the face is not accurate to how it looks in the film. I just think here it's fine. For me, I think it's stupid, because they marketed this thing as True FX, like it's true to the visual effects. Like this was the Spino from the movie, but you literally have a wide head. If you're gonna, market it as that, can you at least fucking get the details right, you stupid fuck? Somebody get me through this nightmare. I can't control myself. Now, for the Spino's articulation, it's pretty simple. Probably the most simple of all the Hammond Collection figures, if you do own them. This is my first review, not that you give a shit, but basically, head, mouth closes like on a ratchet, go up and down like so. It's on two ball joints. Oh, you can move the upper head. I don't want to push it, actually, if you can't really turn it much. And then the other part. Again, it's actually very limited. The top head you cannot, but the neck you can actually do a lot more with. The top part, not really. Again, mouth is on a ratchet. Again, I don't know why they sort of make it so that their jaws unhinge this much. If you know the anatomy
of animals, you know, that they can't actually do that. I'm so smart, right, guys? Because I know that. So, in reality, I think you should just be able to... There should just be a hinge at the bottom here for them to open up. I don't know why they do this. I guess for the rubber inside the mouth. But, you know, I don't know why they have it on a ratchet, but that's that. Then we go on to the arms. The arms are probably the best kind of part of this figure. You know, they got a lot of movement. You know, you could get a lot of... You know, you can move the legs out about that far. I mean, the arms out about that far. You can push them in. And then, you know, you can move... You have an elbow, so you can kind of go that far with it. And then, you know, down like that. And then the wrists are on a hinge. I think that was actually not present on a lot of other figures, but it is on the Spino. And it is very rubbery for the hands, so you can kind of make him do cool poses with that, which is nice. The legs can kick about that back. You can probably go all the way around. Yeah, you can go all the way around. I'm not going to do that. And then you can... Very limited, actually. I don't think they put a... I see it. Oh, wait, yeah, it's there. So you can kick out the leg a little bit. It's very stiff, so I don't want to, like, break it. And the legs do go down like that. No movement in the toes. And then the other part, yeah, you can also bend that. And that's pretty much it besides the tail, but the tail is one segment. I don't know why they didn't make it two, and you can just it has a bendy wire, so you can just do that with the tail. And that's basically it for articulation. It's nothing crazy. Yeah, that's the Spino.
So here's a comparison between both. I am dubbing over this video because what I said in this clip was kind of stupid. As you can see, I think what would make this figure a lot better is if it had this sculpt on the left. Conveniently, I'm pointing at it, but whatever. If it had that paint job, I think this figure would be better. But the other issue, and the video is going to go to that, is you can clearly see that, as I stated before, the face is not accurate. It's too wide. Now, for me, it doesn't bother me too much. I think I said that before, but it's still an issue and stupid. Again, it's dumb. You know, you make this true FX, and you can't get the fucking sculpt on the front of the face right, which is a reoccurring issue with so many figures. I don't know how they can't keep doing this over and over again, and I think it's inexcusable. It's been happening like so many times, and you do it on the most anticipated figure of all time. Probably the most anticipated figure. So, yeah. That's kind of poopy. It doesn't bother me too much, because I think it's not as bad as some of the other figures, but it's still not great. So here's some size comparisons to see how big the Spino is. He's the biggest carnivore in the line. Not the biggest figure, obviously, because the Brachiosaurus exists, if you have that. But, yeah, overall, I think he's cool. I wish the paint was more, but Mattel is very inconsistent, so I think this is just going to be the norm. I doubt if they do produce the perfect figure, then this video will be outdated, but I think they're just going to keep their inconsistencies, because, like, this is better than the Giga, but, like, not better, because the toe isn't, like, the dew claw isn't painted, and then the sculpt is still wide in the front, and the paint's kind of lacking. So, yeah, just wait for the Nemo release, or you could do your own sculpting if you want, if you will. I mean, you could take the time to do that, right? Anyways, that's it. This review's done, and go watch some dinosaur music videos, you fucking losers.
So here's another option. Just get a bit of clay and mold yourself a new chin. This look right here I'm calling Goat's Winter.